What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video where we're going to be speaking all about fat loss and sustainable dieting. I've been making fitness content for years, whether it's on YouTube or on Instagram, and I feel like I've spoken a lot about the practical side of fat loss. I've spoken about the calorie deficit, training, cardio and the rest, but in today's video I really want to speak about the psychological slash mindset side of fat loss, because I've never really dedicated a video to it before, and it really can be the make or break of whether you're going to sustain the results you achieve or not. If you Google fat loss, all you see is calorie deficit, and I feel like we all have heard it before, you know. It's simple, but it's not always easy, and your mindset and your perspective on it can actually play a massive role on the results you get. Now, if you're looking for a quick fix, then this is not the channel, because that's not the type of approach I take to dieting. My ethos is based around a balanced approach, a practical approach, and something that's sustainable. So if you're looking for a quick fix, then just keep scrolling, because we're not going to get it here. But what you will get is some good advice that will hopefully lead you to having a healthy, balanced relationship with food, help you feel confident and get sustainable results that last you the rest of your life, as opposed to yo-yo dieting. That's something I'm definitely trying to get rid of. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet and straight to the point. As always, if you have any questions or requests, then leave them in the comments below and I will be getting back to people. But I hope you enjoyed today's video and I hope you learned something new. So the first thing that I feel like people don't speak about enough when it comes to a fat loss diet is priming your environment. And this can honestly make the biggest difference to whether you achieve the results you want or not. So the first thing that I think can be very helpful when it comes to priming your environment is your food shop and the organization around the food that you have at home. Of course, some of us live with our parents, you might live with your siblings or have housemates, and it can obviously get a little bit trickier then, but I still feel like there are little things that we can do to just make it that little bit easier. One thing I'll make sure of, if I'm on a fat loss diet, 80% of my fridge and my cupboards are going to be full of foods that love me back, foods that are in line with my goal and make me feel good from the inside out. If your cupboards are full of crisps, biscuits, chocolate, ice cream, you're just going to make life a little bit harder when it comes to trying to stick to your diet and eat foods that are in line with your goals. If they're right there in the cupboard and if you're around them all day, you're going to be much more likely to eat them. So my tip is to just follow that 80-20 rule. 80% of the foods at home that you surround yourself with should be in line with your fat loss goals. Another tip when it comes to priming your environment is telling people around you about your goals, and this just makes sure that they're on board and aware of what you're trying to achieve, whether that's your partner or your best friends or your parents, whoever you're around quite a lot. It's a good thing to tell them about your goals. Firstly, it'll probably keep you more accountable, and secondly, it just means that they're in the loop and they're not going to be kind of confused as to why you might be eating different foods or prepping foods at different times. It's just good to keep people in the know so that your environment is a positive space for you. One thing that definitely has helped me over the last maybe 2 or 3 years is my walk pad. I'm not going to lie, guys, it has made such a massive difference, because I live in Ireland. Obviously it's looking quite sunny right now, but we don't get this weather all the time. A lot of the year is very dark and grey and rainy. So Alex got me that walk pad, I think maybe 3 years ago now, and it just helps so much when it comes to just movement throughout the day. I have absolutely no excuse to not move and to not get my steps done, because it's right there and I see it every single day. Is it the most aesthetic thing to have in my apartment? Probably not, but it's in line with my goals and I use it, and it just makes life so much easier for me. If you're someone that lives in a sunnier country and if you're on your feet a lot, then maybe you don't need a walk pad, but I will say, guys, it's a little bit of a hack. There's like never a day where I don't reach my steps. I actually spend a lot of my day sitting down on my laptop. If I'm not at the gym, I'll go on a walk with Pablo every day, but other than that, I'm on my laptop. So the walk pad has made a massive difference, and it's the little habits that make the biggest difference once you're consistent with them. So if you have a desk job, if you work from home, and if you find it difficult to move around, then a walk pad is a great investment, or any other pieces of fitness equipment that you can get from home if you have the space. And if it makes things easier for you, then definitely do it. It's always worth the investment. Now, another thing I want to talk about is alcohol. So firstly, alcohol shows up differently for everyone everyone. Everyone has a different relationship with alcohol. Some people can have 1 or 2 glasses of wine, leave it at that, get to the gym in the morning, you know, stay on track the next day. Other people might not have that relationship with alcohol. And I'm not here to tell you what you can or can't drink. We're all adults. But I will say, when it comes to a fat loss diet, if you are drinking every weekend and missing sessions and having takeaways that night or the day after, losing sleep, alcohol will definitely make things a lot harder and just slow down your results. And I just feel like it's not really spoken about that much because, as I mentioned, it shows up differently for everyone. You know, it's not just like a one size fits all when it comes to your alcohol intake, but it's definitely just something to be mindful of. If you're feeling frustrated, if you're not getting the results you want, or if you find your results really hard to maintain, and if you're also someone that like might heavily drink at the weekends or more than that, it's definitely something to look into because it just makes things that little bit harder. So in my next point, we're going to speak about your mindset and the shift in your mindset when it comes to fat loss. This is something I spoke about, I think it was in my last video, the shift from focus on your calories to your health. Obviously, like the science proves that if you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose fat, which is all correct, but the quality of the food you're consuming is really important, and it will make a huge difference to you maintaining that fat loss and also just making things easier again. It's all about making it feel easy. If it feels like a chore and if it feels really hard, then it's not going to be sustainable. So I definitely had a huge shift in my perspective, I would say, and my mindset towards food over the last 12 months, simply because I've educated myself a bit more. I've been reading books about gut health and how the foods you eat aren't just, you know, calories. They impact everything, like your hormonal health, your mental health, everything. The list goes on. Calories are important. I'm never going to sit here and say that calories don't matter, because they do, but the quality of the calories is so important and it shouldn't be overlooked. I feel like I've had a shift from like if it fits your macros to if it fits your micros, meaning your micronutrients as well, and it just makes everything so much easier. And I am still taking the 80-20 approach, where 80% of my food is high in fiber, high in protein, whole foods, like things that are grown from the ground, lean meats, and 20% of my food, like I'm still going to have the dessert every now and again. I'm still going to have my Happy Hippos and my Milky Bars and sweet treats, but I just find that when I'm eating whole foods, and when my clients are doing this too, you just don't crave the ultra processed food as much. And this isn't an instant thing. I will say it does take time, like anything. It takes practice, it takes patience, and you need to give your gut time to adjust to these food changes as well. It is a mindset shift, and it's just one that makes everything so much easier when it comes to fat loss and when it comes to sustaining the fat loss and being at a healthy weight where you feel confident and healthy from the inside out. If you want me to go into more detail about the 80-20 rule and how I kind of structure my own diet and what I do for my clients, then definitely let me know, because I'd love to make a video on that. I feel like that would be a whole separate video. I'd be here all day if I tried to get into that now. But just keep that in mind. Your calories are important, but the quality of your calories is just as important. And my fourth point is another kind of mindset one, psychological one, and it's all about embracing change and being open to re-identifying yourself. I know I mentioned at the start of the video about letting people in your environment know about your goals, but sometimes people won't support that. Sometimes it can be actually really triggering for certain people in your life if they see you making healthy changes in your diet or with your lifestyle. I've seen it happen, and not everyone that you support is going to support you back. It can be almost like a mirror on them. You know, when you want to make some changes, you might not always get the support from the people that you love. So just be prepared for that and just be ready to embrace the change. If people don't understand or don't support your goals, then I can promise you one thing: you will definitely meet people along the way that will, because you're going to be putting yourself in new environments. You might be doing different things at the weekends. Just be prepared for that, because it can be tough when you're trying to reinvent yourself and trying to become a better version. And sometimes there are some people that will actually hate to see it. Unfortunately, I personally can't understand that mindset, but I've definitely seen it happen where people can just be triggered by it. So be prepared and embrace the change. You know, remember, this is about you. This is not about anyone else. It's about you and your goals. You need to keep that at the forefront. And remember, there will be people, there will be like-minded people that you will meet along the way. And you're just going to be so happy that you stuck to it. I honestly feel like I could talk about this stuff for days, but those are just some points that I think I haven't really spoken enough about, and I hope they help. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, guys, I wanted to be sustainable sustainable and I want your results to last long term, we all understand it's calories in versus calories out. It's very simple, but as I mentioned, it's not always easy, and there is this whole other psychological side to improving your health and, you know, achieving your goals that just isn't really spoken about enough. So I'm really hoping that you learned something new or that you found something valuable in today's video. And as always, if you have any requests, then leave them in the comments and I will catch you next time.